looks darker. Okay. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Turnips to Tangerines, and today we have an easy recipe for fresh cranberry sauce made with fresh cranberries that I get here in Wisconsin. Every year when they come out, I go and I pick up about 5 to 10 packages of cranberries, and they can be easily frozen. In fact, I have one bag froze here, and this bag I had in my refrigerator. So what I'm going to do, and these come from, I do believe, Warren's, Wisconsin, which has a great big cranberry festival every year. So now let's get started. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to open up our bag of cranberries, our bags, and I'm making a double batch here because we like our cranberries. Oh, the scissors just doesn't want to work today. We like our cranberries. We really like cranberries with our pork tenderloin, and cranberries, believe it or not, are delicious together. And we really like that. Chicken with cranberry sauce is good. You don't have to eat it just, at the holidays. So this is 2 big packages of cranberries. Ooh, just barely going to fit in there. And this is a 16-ounce bag. Most bags that you find in the store are only 12 ounces, but this is the 16-ounce bag. I bought my cranberries this year at Wagner's Farm Market in Black Creek. So that's where I got them this year. Now we're going to add our sugar, and I'm going to be following this right back here, this recipe here. So now we need 2 cups of sugar, and since this is a double batch, I'm going to add 4 cups, and I know that sounds like a whole lot of sugar, but it really isn't. 1 cup. I hope my my pan is big enough. 2 cups. And like I said, there's quite a bit of cranberries in here, so not going to be as much sugar as you think. And this is 2 cups of apple juice. You can use water, but I like to give it a little extra flavor, so that's why I use the apple juice. Like I said, you can just use plain old water. You could even use, which I have used before, is you could even use cranberry juice cocktail or apple cranberry juice cocktail or something like that. You can do that also. And I'm going to let that just dissolve a little bit before I add the rest of the, ooh, look at that, perfectly. The rest of the juice and the sugar. And I'm using the Indian Summer apple juice. You can use any kind of apple juice you want to. I prefer to use that just because. And I'm also going to add just a tiny pinch. Oh, I got on my bad hand here. Of just a pinch and a pinch of kosher salt. And this is too much, so I'm just going to add a little bit. Well, no, actually, that's probably an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, just because it does, for flavor reasons here, purposes. And I'm going to turn that up just a tiny bit more. It doesn't seem to be going too good here. Okay, put that down. I'll end up burning myself up. Here we go. I'm going to add some more juice. And, ooh, I have a very funny feeling I may have to switch pans here. I don't think this pan's going to be big enough. So, you watch your cranberries, and I'm going to be right back. I got to get a bigger pan. That's not big enough. Okay, now let's get out this. Make some rumbling, grumbling noise here. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I got a bigger pan, my big old pan here, And I'm just going to switch you out. There we go. Much better. Oh, there's sugar left in there. Okay. I'm gonna swirl this around. Whew. There we go. Wow. Okay. And now I'm going to add the rest of my sugar. And that should be about it. And that didn't take all that long, did it? So what I'm going to do here is, oh, now I broke this. This is just one of those days today. Yeah, broke the handle on my cup. All right, 1 cup. Okay, here we go. 2 cups of sugar right there with my broken handle. Okay, goodbye. Garbage we will go. A garbage we will go. Now, let's get this going. And we are going to cook this down on, right now I have it on medium high. I want to dissolve all the sugar and get everything nice and good here. And we're just going to let that sit. You're actually making almost like a simple syrup with the sugar and juice, and it comes down, you know, boils down, gets nice and sweet there. And then after that, once the cranberries start popping a little bit, you're pretty much done. And you have to bring it to a boil. And it says to cover and simmer about 30 minutes after you bring it. But see, you can already see some of the cranberries are starting to pop, as they say. See? That's what it looks like when they pop. You'll be able to even hear it a little bit. And it says to keep it covered and let it simmer for 30 minutes. I prefer not to cover it. I prefer just to let my cranberries sit here. You're probably wondering why I didn't rinse my cranberries before I put them in the pan. And that's because they are pre-rinsed before they're bagged. And that's what it says on the package. And I believe that. So that's why I do that. And when you freeze them, just put the cranberries right in the bag. Keep them right in the bag. Throw the bag, whole bag and all in your freezer. And you'll have cranberries for at least a year. That's how long they take or sit in there. You can, I do that often. Like I said, we like cranberry sauce. We don't just eat it at the holidays. But this is another thing that you can make ahead of time is cranberry sauce. So you don't have to futz around with that. Try to make this at least one time fresh cranberry sauce. Try to stay away from, I have dogs running back and forth. You can probably see them over back here, running back and forth. Try to make your own cranberry sauce, you know, at least once. Give it a whirl. It's easy to do, as you're going to see. It only takes maybe a half an hour to an hour to do it. And it tastes far better than that stuff you buy in the store. Now, I'm not knocking anything. We've used it many times. My family loves the gelled cranberry. I guess, what do they call that? Gelled cranberry sauce or something? The gelled cranberry. So don't get me wrong. I buy it every year because every year if I have just this on the table, I'm going to hear, where's the other cranberry stuff? So I always have that. I always have to go get it out of my refrigerator, and I always act like I didn't buy it, but they always know I do. So here we go. I'll let these come to a nice bubble here, and as you can see, they're starting to pop. See, the skin is starting to pop here. And that releases juice, and it gets your cranberries to kind of boil down. Cranberries, as you can see, they float to the top. That's how they actually, a little piece of stem there. Cranberries grow on vines, like they're on a low growing vine, and they grow like that throughout the summer, I do believe. And then in the fall, when they're ready to be harvested, they flood the cranberry bogs, and the cranberries float to the top from the vines. They come off the vines and they float to the top, and then a machine goes through and, you know, picks them up. I guess it's like a big wheel, and the wheel goes around, and then the cranberries get scooped up into I imagine some sort of a truck or something. I mean, I've never watched it, and then they're brought into wherever, and they're washed, processed, and you got cranberries. But they do float, and that's how they pick cranberries. That's why you can't, you know, pick them yourself. And then they rake them, rake the cranberries up, and, you know, they get scooped up and brought into wherever the building, whatever they do. I'm not sure exactly what they do, but that's how they get the cranberries. So they grow in a low vine, growing vine, and they flood the bog. They flood the area, which is a cranberry bog. The cranberries float to the top, and they rake them up, and, you know, machine comes and brings them in and puts them into some sort of a conveyor belt type thing, and they're processed, and away they go to the store. So it's really, you know, interesting. And when we go to Minnesota, when we go to Winona, Minnesota, we go through the area of Wisconsin, Toma, Warrens, all that area, even Eagle River. That's a different direction, but we all have a lot of cranberry bogs. Please, please, Larry, stop your barking, okay? Oh, I just heard one pop. You can actually hear him pop. Larry, another one popping. Popping away. Shh, Larry. I want to hear him pop. Larry, I'm trying to let them pop, and we can hear you. I can't hear nothing with your barking. Larry, you're a good boy now. Okay, thanks. Larry, there, bear, please. No more. This is what one looks like when they're popped. If you can see that, maybe you can, yeah, do that. Larry, please. That's what it looks like when it's popped. You'll see that. They get soft. Oh my Lord. Well, I guess we'll be taking that off of the video. Larry is, I guess, not happy here, as you can hear. Larry. He wants a chewy that Juju has. See, and this is, you can hear them pop. That's how they pop. And when they start to pop like that, you know they're going to start cooking down real good. So, see how they go? See them pop. Goodbye, Larry. Oh, yeah. So you let them come to a boil, and they start popping. They don't all pop, which is okay. You can even take a little, one of those, well, there they go, see? I think Emerald Lagasse used to call it bolt motor. One of those, what are they? Immersion blenders. And you can even, you know, do it, smush them up real good if you want to. I like a few whole berries in mine. So that's basically what it looks like right there. Ooh, kind of steamy. Turn that down. Yeah, and we're going to let these cook for about, oh, a good half an hour, just to let it get nice and thick, let it boil down. It's very sticky, and we're just going to let it cook there. They're all nice and popped. We got Larry quieted down over there. Must have got the chewy from Juju, but see, and it'll nice and cook down here. And I'm going to turn it way on low. I have it on low there, and I will be back in 30 minutes, and you can see how it looks. Another thing I'm going to add right here too is after I let this cool, I allow this to cool before I bake it up, and I am going to freeze it. So I got my sauce ready for Thanksgiving coming up. Another thing I do then is you can either add a little bit of orange rind then and then freeze it, or I prefer to add a little, you know, freeze the sauce as is, and then right when I take it out, and then you let it thaw in your refrigerator till it's thawed out. And then as I'm heating it up, that's when I add my orange rind and a little bit of orange juice. So that's when I add the orange rind. I just let it cook like this. If it's already, you know, I took it out of the freezer, let it sit in my refrigerator. I'm gonna heat it up because it's, you know, we're gonna be eating. I take some orange and I zest it over the cranberries. It tastes fresher that way. And otherwise, if you freeze the orange, it doesn't give it quite that orange flavor that I like, that everybody likes. I prefer even a little lemon with my cranberries. I know most people prefer the orange, and that's fine. But like I said, this is gonna be, after this is done and it's cooled, I'm gonna put it in the freezer, and then before I serve it at Thanksgiving, that's when I add my orange. And that's a good thing to do too, so remember that. So I will be back in a little bit when this is all done. See you then. Okay, this is nice and thickened up. I cooked it. It simmered on low, medium low, for 30 minutes. And I let it simmer uncovered for 10 minutes. I covered it, and then I took the cover off at the last 10 minutes. And now I'm going to set it aside. And I'm going to turn the burner off, and I'm going to set it over there on the side and let it cool before I bake it up. But doesn't that look like, let's see if I can get it in the light a little better here. It's a beautiful red color. It's thick. It's good. It tastes a whole lot better than that stuff you buy in the store. It's very, very thick, and it thickens up. But as it, yeah, it thickens up too as it cools. Ooh. So it's very good. And like I said, it's a very nice, thick consistency. You can see all the cranberries, how they look when they're all popped. Good. Let's see if I can show you a little bit more here. I should be able to show you more when it gets cooled off just a little tiny bit. But like I said, it is very good, very hot right now. And it's starting to thick up already. It thickens up as it cools too. So if you think it's going to be a little bit runny, it won't be. It'll thicken up really nice. And this is basically your homemade cranberry sauce. Very easy to do. Two 16-ounce packages of fresh cranberries I used. I used 4 cups of white sugar. And I used 4 cups of apple juice. You can use water if you want to. It doesn't matter. You bring that mixture up to a boil, and then you reduce the heat to a simmer, medium low, simmer, whatever your stove, you know, is best for a nice slow simmer. Simmer it uncovered for about 10 minutes. Cover it up for 10 minutes, and then the last 10 minutes take the cover off again if you choose to. I like to do it that way because it does, you know, thickens it up a little nicer. But look at that beautiful red color. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love cranberries. I really do. They are so versatile. People just tend to use them at, you know, Thanksgiving and even Christmas, but you can really do a lot with cranberries. I add the whole cranberries to pie filling, pear ginger pie filling. Cranberries pair really well with ginger, for believe it or not, they do. I mean, most people pair it only with orange, but I prefer to, you know, pair it with, oh, ginger, lemon, whichever. And another thing that's really nice to do if you're looking for like a real fast hors d'oeuvre and you're going, oh, what am I going to do? You can pick up a container of mascarpone cheese and spoon a little bit of cranberry sauce over it, like homemade cranberry sauce over it, and serve with crackers. It's really good. Another thing you can do too is you can take your cranberry sauce and add just a little sprinkling or a little teaspoon or 2 teaspoons, whatever you prefer. Add a little bit of horseradish sauce to it, fresh grated horseradish, and you'll make yourself a nice Jezebel sauce and put that over mascarpone cheese. And I'm going to tell you, that's good. That won't last long. So there you go. I'm going to let this set aside. We're going to let it cool, and we will be back.